criticism. Pancake Analytics is the stat wizard. She clackety clackety clack.
Pancake, yeah.
Pancake, yeah.
It's over. It's over.
Hey everyone, it's Tom at Pancake Analytics. I'm back from the National Sports Collectors Convention that took place in Cleveland, Ohio. I'm going to share with you some exploratory analysis from an upcoming deep dive I'm currently working on. The deep dive version of it, I need a couple more weeks just to see pre, during, and post sentiment. And this is going to be, in some cases, maybe not all, but I assume for the majority, an introduction into social listening and what that really entails and sentiment. On the screen right now is a free tool provided by Talkwalker, who was acquired by Hootsuite. Essentially, in their free version, you can search hashtags, you can search key terms, and it will query over the past 7 days social media platforms and also apply a sentiment analysis. And we can even show you how deep it goes on its AI capabilities, its social listening, and it's a really cool, unique tool that I think more in the hobby space should leverage, especially the free version here. So on the screen, right, I put in a search of the hashtag NSCC 2024. And we can see that over the past week, there's been nearly 2,000 posts using that hashtag. The total overall engagement has been 4.4K. The sentiment, in their analysis, it mostly will skew to neutral, and we'll break that out a little bit. There is 6.8% negative sentiment, and I'll show you how I'm able to dive down and see what is actually driving that negative segment, and also the positive sentiment. Potential reach is interesting, and we'll break that down more on the influencers tab. You can also see the sentiment over time, right? You get most of your negative once the show is actually occurring. Most positive was leading up to it. And then it starts to drag down a little bit now that we're back. To our normal days outside of the convention. So hopefully you'll find this is a more of a unique recap type video of, someone's experience at the National. So anything here, we can blow it up. It's going to show you that KPI card. What I find most helpful is when we get to their AI technologies. So right now I'm looking at the top themes. It'll grab across everything, every hashtag, and it'll also give you like the results. So most of the results had our hashtag we're looking for. Power Rangers was in it as well, and you'll see that once we dig into it. So I can actually click on that hashtag, and it gives me some more detail. So you can see that breakout of sentiment using that hashtag. You can also see the peak, about 14%, right, was on Friday of the show using that hashtag. You can see the themes that are associated with that hashtag. It'll let you know when the first time the hashtag was used. In this case, it was Steel City. It also does image recognition, which is cool. In this case, there's not enough volume or text to give you a sentiment score or a trending score, but it would if there was. You can see the most engaging posts I have it set to. You can also set it to potential reach. So obviously Gary Vee is going to have the most potential reach, but what's interesting is he didn't actually have the highest engagement. That came from Heritage Auction. So what really gets telling is, and I'll show you how their API kicks in, is let's look at that 31% positive sentiment. And through their technology called Blue Silk GPT, I know Talkwalker is also developing another version, which is called Yeti. And it's going to be kind of a chat box you can talk to. But here it gives a breakdown, and take it with a grain of salt. It's written by AI. So the first bullet point, it's letting us know where the convention took place, what days, and that the majority of attendees, they shared their experiences, purchases, and encounters on social media using the hashtag. It touches on booths and exhibitors. Several exhibitors had booths at the convention. Calls out Gary Vee, Cardsmiths, DCS Breaks. Their exclusives, free giveaways, and quick flip opportunities. Now, when it comes to trading card and collectibles, the majority of the posts were around this using the hashtag. And again, what they showcased: rare cards, autograph items. Some even harped on the thrill of finding unique pieces. Meet and greets, that is one of the biggest draws of the National, So it soared within the trends. You can meet popular figures and sports memorabilia, athletes, celebrities, influencers. Photo videos were shared as well. Lessons learned. This is where it starts to get a little bit interesting. A few attendees reflected on lessons learned during the convention, such as the importance of setting a budget and being mindful of your spending habits, while others joked about the challenges of navigating the crowded event with large bags of purchases. It pulls out rugby, which is interesting, right? So it's referring to a rugby tournament held in conjunction of the convention, and then a lot of the artwork being displayed by famous players. It'll also give you your detail, right? Your top most engaging point came from Gary Vee, and it was just him hyping up, hey, can't wait to see you this morning, meet me at my booth. Next most engaging were pickups. Then Gary Vee comes in again. Here's where it's picking up, the meet and greets with influencers, right? One of the most engaging tweets was, this user, The Beard, meeting up with Midwest Box Break. It was very popular on Twitter. Here's that Cardsmith post. Here's pulled out, very valuable lesson. Really great place to just have a tool all in one place where you can see this sentiment and just across all the spheres, right? You can also break it down and I'll show you the themes of that positive sentiment. Emojis that are used, Gary Vee. So let's go back and let's look at that neutral. sentiment, and then we'll get to the negative. So in the neutral, Power Rangers auction comes up, Heritage auction, spanning over 30 years. Then we have some discussion around the Topps National Exchange boxes. Then eBay Live, specifically Gary Vee giving away items at the eBay Live event. Then we have some discussions of T206 hand stamp cards, vintage sports memorabilia, some breaking news, and it's all about the Power Rangers and the sneak previews. You'll also see this pop up on the negative sentiment, which is interesting. And then there's a whole bunch of, investments versus collecting, tweets discussing investment strategies, buying vintage cards, and investing in certain players and franchises. Here's by most engaging. And how it gets to sentiment scores, right? It analyzes all this text. Now, I don't know which sentiment method they're leveraging, but if you're more curious into sentiment, you can look at the Vader package through Python. Now, most of social listening is going to be heavily skewed to Twitter. You'll see it does pull in YouTube, but really Twitter is where you're going to get most of your text feeds to be able to do sentiment. Let's look at some of those neutral themes. See Heritage Auction, Power Rangers, previews. Now let's go all the way back. Let's hone in on the negative sentiment, which was about 6%. So here's where I said it was interesting when it came to Power Rangers, and it's there's a recurring theme of disappointment and disrespect towards the Power Rangers franchise in regards of its handling by Hasbro and upcoming auction of memorabilia. So a lot of Power Rangers fans feel like this shouldn't be coming up for auction. Even more expressing sadness and frustration over the perceived death of the Power Rangers brand, with some users even going as far to saying they're no longer going to support the franchise. Even more criticism around the decision of Power Rangers memorabilia at the auction. Some are, as I said, they're arguing that showing a lack of respect for the history of the franchise. Some users upset about the cancellation of new Power Rangers content, such as TV shows and movies. And it's all just Power Rangers. Now, what's interesting here, right? If you go to my engagement, it is not the top of your list. You do have, this is just someone making an ill-advised purchase of an immaculate box. Here's another user giving feedback on the lack of handicap spots at the National. Here we start seeing, Power Ranger talk, all about the Heritage Auction. So Heritage Auction, right? And what's interesting here is if you're using this as one of these companies, right, you might want to reach out to this user and see what was happening. So this one says Panini America was at the National Sports Convention today, and you lost a customer today. So you could click back into it, get to the initial tweet, do some analysis, see if there's a possible win back there. See what it looks like if you do it by potential reach. All pretty much have the same reach as it went into the same area. You can see some of the themes around the negative sentiment, and it shouldn't be anything out of the ordinary than what I already covered. But really interesting tool here. I find most use out of the themes. Influencers is interesting as well once it decides to load, but you'll be able to see, you know, what they're mostly sharing the hashtag on, in this case, 100% Twitter, and really who is driving the most. You know, shouldn't be any surprise. Gary Vee's got the most reach per mention. His engagement is not that high, which is interesting. Hence, he's third on the engagement per mentions. You can even get some demographics information around who's using that hashtag, right? So about 80% male, top interest is sports. You can get to their occupations: financial analyst, author and writer, entrepreneur are your top three. And then your age range is pretty interesting, right? So mostly it's 25 to 34. Now where this gets really interesting is, let's say I threw in another hashtag in there. Let's think of another card show. And you can start doing some competitive analysis. Right, so there was only, it looks like maybe one tweet on the Dallas Card Show this week. So this might have been not the greatest example, but it'll do it. Let's say we put in Upper Deck. Panini. I think we should probably you could also throw in Topps cards. This might be a better way to do it. Cards. Cards. I don't believe it's case sensitive, but we'll find out. And here's how you can do some competitive analysis. For some reason, it kept the Dallas Card Show. You know, it's the free version, right? Sure, put that entry in there. Let's go ahead and put in deck cards. My query was blank because I did feed it a blank query. And here's a little bit of a better comparison. Now it's all obviously going to be skewed towards volume. What's interesting is Topps cards, right? You have a higher female demographic. Interesting is Upper Deck. Sorry, I read that wrong. Most of the Upper Deck tweets this week came from the female demographic. That's interesting. Look at those key metrics and you can see the sentiment. Blow it out. Upper Deck has very high positive sentiment over the week. Panini with the lowest sentiment. Only one positive tweet. And then you want to take things into scale, right? when we talk about volumes of this, not many people are using these phrases. That's why it's better to use like, oh, hashtags. Another really interesting look. Let's go ahead and remove these. Hit enter here again. Let's say we want to look at just the hobby in general. Use that hashtag. And you can do a similar analysis, mostly positive, right? Because that hashtag is usually used in a positive context. You can see who is using the hashtag the most out of the week, their engagement. And you could also go back to those top themes. So you can see some of the heavy hitters, and it pulls in a lot more YouTube with that hashtag. So obviously this was just an introduction to social listening. I think it should be utilized by more people in the space. Look forward to my full analysis. And that analysis was inspired by Mac Cardboard. Got to meet Mac at the National. Been on his podcast before, and it was good meeting him in person. He put the idea of, like using social media as a proxy in analysis. And at first I was skeptical about it. In my full analysis, I'll show you how I do use it in a proxy into models and how it can be used as a lead indicator. So thank you for watching. Hopefully this was more of a unique take on just sentiment around the National. And this might be something we will revisit on a more frequent cadence. We'd love to just see what the overall sentiment out there is. And this seems like the most scalable, efficient way to do it. So thanks for watching. Hope to catch you at a convention soon. Bye.
Pancake, yeah.
Pancake, yeah.
I'm the queen of pancakes, yeah. Pancake is our life. I eat pancakes for breakfast. I eat pancakes for our lunch. I eat pancakes for our dinner. It's a pancake town in this whole world.